Welcome to the State of From Zero Developer. This is lesson 12, and you're going to learn how to work with tables in this tutorial. You're already familiar with our regular project directory, which is developer.com. We open this up, and you know how we do. We're going to be duplicating this text.html file and renaming it as. We're going to copy that and paste it as, and save it as, rename it to table.html. You know what we do? We're going to open up our index file and edit that to add the link to our index file, so that from our index file we can go to the table page and see what is happening there. So we just renamed this to table.html and working with tables. I already explained how to use tables before, but this time I'll be pretty much concise about the markup of the table elements and creating tables in general. So we have our table.html created, so let's open that up with notepad 2. Then we'll open our index with Chrome so that we can view it on the browser. So if we refresh this guy, already we have working with tables here, and if you click that, taking us to table.html, which contains all this gibberish that has nothing to do with tables. So we just have to clear that up a little bit. Now we change that to working with tables. Change this to the title to tables. So if I save and I refresh, you see that I have table up here and tables up here and working with tables. So the markup for tables I told you earlier is with the table tag, table tag, open and close, table. Yeah. So this doesn't create anything though. This doesn't create nothing. This just creates the container for the table to be created. Now next, in a table we have rows and columns, so you must listen attentively to this to get the whole concept of tables. So if we were to create a 3x3 table, it means that we're going to be creating 3 rows and 3 columns. So in this case, I'm going to be creating a 3x3 table, which would entail creating 3 rows and 3 columns. So first, in table creation, you need to create the rows first, which is tr open, tr close. So this specifies a row in a table, and a row needs columns to have essence. You create columns by using the markup td/td. So this is one row, open and close, and it has just one child of one column. So let's give it an annotation: row 1, column 1. So let's refresh the browser. Oh yeah, now let's give the table border equals to 1, so it has borders. Then cell, there's something called cell padding in tables. It's an attribute of the table, and cell padding of 0. Yeah, oh no, not cell padding actually. It gives cell spacing of 0. So if I do this, see I have table, and I'm beginning to think that cell spacing is without a hyphen. Let's try that again. Yeah, so that's that. Right, cell spacing border. Now let's create another row, another column in that same row. So we have 1 row and 2 columns now. So we have row 1, column 2. So if we refresh this page, we'll have row 1, column 2. Then for us to create another row, I told you initially that we're going to have 3 columns. So let me fulfill my promise, and then let's just do no. So this block here is one row, this block here is another row, this block here is another row, sorry, this block here is a one column, this block here is another column, and this third block here is row 1 column 3, another column. So you create a column using the td tag. The td tag is what you use to create columns. So we have 3 columns in one row. For us to create another row, we'll just do this same thing over again. We do tr open close tr. This defines a new row that we're about to create, and it has nothing. If we save and refresh, you wouldn't see anything because there's no column in the row. So a row does not have any essence if there are no columns in it. So what we now need to do is we do td again, and this is another row. We have just created our first column in the new row, second row. So we'll say row 2 column 1, and we can just copy this to create another column in that row. In this new row, have row 2 column 2, sorry. Then finally you have row 2 column 3, and this is how you create tables in HTML. This is how you create tables in HTML. And let's create the third row so that I wouldn't be owing you anything anymore. And I said I'll create three rows, 3 columns, and that's what I'm about to do. So this is the third row. We just need to change this annotation to row 3 column 1, row 3 column 2, and row 3 column 3, and we're done with 3 rows. And this is how you work with tables. Then one special mention is there's sometimes you find yourself trying to create a row that has a column span that is equivalent to the other rows. Let me explain this by just simply cleaning off 2 rows in the cleaning up 2 columns in the 4th row. This is the 4th row, and we just have 1 column, and we want this column to be as wide as 3 rows joined together. We can add a new attribute to that column and give it a column span equals to 3. So we have row 4 column 1 wide. So you see that this row is equivalent to 3 rows. This column is as wide as 3 columns, and that's how you do it. You give that particular column a column span of 3. If I give it a column span of 2, it is going to be as wide as just 2. You see, it's as wide as just two columns. But now I want it to be as wide as 3, so I'll just give it 3 columns. I see row 1 column wide, 3 columns wide, 3 columns wide. So if let's see, this is a very wide column, and this is what we're going to use to build our layouts in the next tutorial. We're going to be using this technology we just learned in creating tables to build a whole awesome layout. Now the size of your screen is going to be approximately 1366 pixels, so we can give the table a width of 1366 pixels, and when we refresh, you see the table taking the width of that page. Oh, it's a little bit more than that, so let's just reduce it by a few pixels. Let's make it 364. Yeah, so if you do that, still scrolling at the bottom, and I don't want that to be I don't want that to happen. So let's still reduce it further to about 356. Yeah, just taking the whole width of the page, so there's no scroll bar under anymore. Yeah, there's no scroll bar under anymore, and this is what we're going to use to build our layout. So thanks for watching.